all sort of start from? Like, you're in primary school, you're 8 years old. What was life looking like for you?
To be honest with you, I remember my dad buying his first mobile home park, and I was in school, in primary school at Gidea Park, and we left and we moved out of Essex to Potter's Bar, and there I went to a school called Cuffley. And my entrepreneurial life, should I say, hadn't really started until I was 10 or 11. Now, I'd always been around my dad doing deals, gone to work with my dad for days. That was ever from being 4 or 5 years old. And that when I went into senior school, I then developed or learned that I had a very natural ability to trade. And I used to buy and sell sweets. Now, we used to buy and sell sweets from the off license. And then I went to work with my granddad one day and found a cash and carry. So I was then, because I wasn't the first person to think of the idea of selling sweets in school. I see somebody do it and thought, right, what a great idea that is. And then obviously they was buying their stuff from the off license. And then as time went on, I found out where the off license got their stuff from, which was a cash and carry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to go and buy my wham bars or refreshers from there. And then following on from that, I purchased a van, and I used to go around to industrial estates and off licenses offering toilet paper, high visibility vests, work gloves, hard hats. Basically, I used to know a couple of wholesalers. How I got into it was my grandfather used to do it. So I used to know a couple of wholesalers that I used to go to and buy this and offer it. And some people used to buy it because they would like to see a young person do well. Some people would turn their nose up and think, why ain't this kid in school? But what it did do, it taught me an awful lot about business and people's character and pretty much knowing what you're up against within someone saying a few words to you, which is extremely useful in the world of business.
But didn't your parents get in trouble? You weren't going to school?
Well, the law is you have to have some form of teaching, which could be a tutor, which I actually did have a tutor.
Okay.
But it didn't work out too good. It just, I didn't click. It wasn't, unless I was hands-on and something was physical, I struggled to learn.
First of all, I want to ask you one thing. You're in the playground. I know I repeated this a few times, but your dad's got money. There's somebody else.
Loads.
Yeah, loads of it. Bags of it. But then somebody else is selling sweets. Your dad's going to give you the money. Why do you need to do that?
Never in my lifetime. My dad has never actually put his hand in his pocket and give me money. I've gone to him on numerous occasions for an investment or to help a business that is not successful for me, and he's never been that person. His advice and the people that he has working with him, he'll always offer their services and say, look, they might be able to help you, give me the right advice. But sometimes I don't know what's the right and what's the wrong advice. Me and my dad have loads of conversations, and we say, like, Dad, the advice you're giving me is from 10 or 15 or maybe even 20 years ago. Like, we're in 2024 now. That might have worked when you was doing what I was doing. You're the biggest park home operator in the UK.
Yeah.
But your advice now, what worked for you 20 or 25 years ago might not work for me. We're in a different time and a different age. And it's took a very long time for him to actually understand that. And what is also very, very, very good, you've obviously got old generation and new generation. Now, I am the new generation. My dad's the old generation. So I'm going out in the new generation of business world, and my dad's still going about in the old generation of business world. But if we come together and we can discuss ideas, how it is and how it was, you come up with some extremely good information and the answers to a lot of questions, and sometimes a happy medium, if you understand what I'm saying, to most problems.
What's the best gift that your dad's ever given you in terms of material?
On my 18th birthday, he bought me a platinum masterpiece Rolex.
Okay.
Which I would never sell it as it's. It couldn't be valued. It's
What about in terms of cars or anything?
Nothing.
Some people would say, what's the point of having money if you're not going to spend it?
Well, he does. My dad's had 2 Bugattis and a helicopter, and he's got a yacht in Monaco, but I don't.
But isn't it about sharing it with your family too?
Well, he does. He lets me use those things.
Okay.
I can go to Monaco and I can have a good time with him. I can have a good time in his Bugatti with him, but it's not mine. I don't own it.
He wants you to earn it.
Yeah.
And how important is that family structure in terms of, you mentioned your granddad? Like,
My
how?
granddad's 80 years old and he still works to this day. He was working on Christmas Day, just gone. Like, the work ethic has been bred through generations. Now, I never really knew my great granddad, but I've heard stories about him also. They work their fingers to the bone, and it's actually, I wouldn't say it's a problem because it's a good thing, but whatever I do, it over occupies my mind and I can't stop thinking about it. Like, for example, I've started a WhatsApp group and a TikTok channel, and I'm always thinking about how I want to make this successful, how I want to make it better. And that's been anything. I only use them two for an example because they're new projects. But it's just I can't sit down. If I'm on a beach somewhere abroad, I'm still thinking about what's happening going on at home. Is there anything I can do on my phone to make that better or make it progress faster? It's just and when people ask me the question about my dad's work ethic, if it's anything like mine, which I believe it is, then that's how it is. It's like some sort of ADHD that you have to, but it's an ADHD where you have to do business and make money or make your business better so it's in a better position to make money.
Is it fun? Is it hard finding friends for you?
Is it hard finding friends? Well, absolutely not. It's probably very easy to find friends, but are they the right friends? Are they the people that you want around you? The thing is, good network of people is actually very hard to find, and people that are very educated and very entrepreneurial. So I like to surround myself with people that are very cleverer than me and eager to earn money because we have an awful lot to talk about. And when you're bouncing ideas to entrepreneurs from one to the other, something good's going to come out of it in the end.
And what about some of the friends that you might want to help along your journey and you're trying to bring them up and they're a little bit more negative and they just don't get it?
Well, the thing is, we all have our own opinion, and there's always two types of people in the world: half empty, half full. However, I've read plenty of quotes. I'm sure you have as well. The optimist built the aeroplane or the parachute, and vice versa. The optimist built the parachute, and the pessimist built the aeroplane. Now, I don't know which way that goes around, but either one of them built either one of them, yeah. And that's why we need both types of people in this world. It's the same in business. Somebody who's eager and who's keen could end up losing their money. If there was a partnership, a pessimistic person, an optimistic person, that would be the perfect business because you would get again a happy medium of, right, is that good? Should we go all guns blazing? No, hold on a minute. If we go all guns blazing, this could happen. This might not work. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Have you had to leave anybody behind?
Of course, you have to. That it's a shame, and it's sometimes in the world of business and in the world of anything that you want to be successful at, you have to drop people out and you have to cut off loose ends. If it's holding you back, you need to cut them off and push forward because again, like you need to be selfish. And there's plenty of times. And do you know what? When you are becoming more successful and you're doing well, you soon see who your true friends are and who will help. And it actually makes that decision very easy. Like some people think, oh, I could never get rid of this friend or I could never get that friend. Now, there's been times where I was thinking like that about friends that I've cut off and I don't talk to anymore. And not that I don't talk to them anymore. We're just on different paths. I want to do different things.
And what about in terms of women? How do you find like a woman or a lady who's not just after your money?
Well, that takes a little bit of time. You've got to get to know them. After you've got to know them, then it's down to your own judgment, really, because anybody can put on a good act for however long, and anybody can be fooled. So again, it's not easy, but you've just got to go off of your own gut instinct in times like that.
Has there ever been a situation you've been in that you've learned from this?
I'm sure there's again. My entrepreneurial past of being up and down and trading with plenty of people, regardless of whether it been men or women, you get a feel for how people act and what if they have ulterior motives or what their actual motives are. You can work it out and you can sum it up. So I'd say I do have experience to see if something isn't quite right. Yeah, I do.
Do you think entrepreneurs are born or made?
I think both. Like, how first of all, they've got to be born and they've got to make themselves. So both, yeah, definitely.
But all of the stuff that you sort of learned from your parents and homeschooling, in a way, I'm not saying school brainwashes you, but school is there to get people through society, getting ready to work as a worker in these big organizations and businesses. But you've seemed to have not gone through that